Hello YouTubers, Tudagamon here. In this video I'm going to benchmark Assetto Corsa on a single GTX 1070 paired with a Core i7-860. This video is recorded on an external recorder at 60 frames per second, so what you will see in this video will be pure performance. The system is overclocked. The Core i7-860 is running at 4 GHz. There we are. It has 12 GB of system RAM, and the graphics card is a GTX 1070 by KFA2, the EX model, latest force were installed, and it is also a little overclocked in order to boost at 2 GHz. Now for this benchmark I'm going to do a custom gameplay benchmark. I will measure performance with fraps and we will see the result in this file. And I have also prepared my previous run on the Core i5-2500K, so we will see how close or not the Core i7-860 will be with that system. So let me, of course, some analysis with that at the end of the video as always. And let's launch the game and see how it performs on this configuration. So let's take a quick look at the options first. I'm using 1080p resolution. Of course there is a built-in benchmark in the game, but what I have devised as my benchmark is heavier than the built-in benchmark, so I can trust it more. 1080p resolution and everything is maxed out, ultra maximum, 4 times anti-aliasing, 16 times anisotropic, and for the effects I have used the same settings in all my Assetto Corsa runs, at least for my good graphics cards. No motion blur, of course, I try to avoid it as much as I can in all benchmarks, and the rest of the stuff, reflections maxed out, etc. So let me go to my custom race. I have selected the SPA track with the Audi R8 LMS Ultra, and 23 opponents, not very strong because I need my car to be a little better in order to pass them to over. Okay, I'm going to skip this first session and go straight to the race. I don't care being last, I want that actually. Start the benchmark, race. and let's see what kind of performance stats we are looking at. "110 frames per second for this run compared to 113 frames per second for the 2500K. We have very similar performance on the two systems, which is very good, and the time run was also very similar, only 12 seconds of difference. But until we do this analysis, let's go to the frame rate and the frame times, which both seem to be very good, very steady, very smooth performance. Of course, once again, the performance is not exactly maxed out. The GPU usage is at 97 to 98%. This 2% that is missing could be a long list of things, but it sure shows that the GTX 1070 is not maxing out. It can give a little performance more. Of course, okay, it is not 50%, but we could get some performance more from the GTX 1070. The CPU usage on the second core shows that the CPU is maxing out, and the game does have a single threaded tendency, but we do have activity on the other cores as well. The CPU usage overall is at 50%, however, so we are not looking at real activity on the logical cores of the CPU, only on the physical ones. And CPU temps are okay for the workload we just saw. They are very reasonable. GPU temps are also quite good. 4 gigabytes, 4.1 gigabytes of RAM usage. Surprisingly, the core clock of the video card dropped from 2 GHz to 1987 and then to 1974. I did not expect that, to tell you the truth. The game is not that heavy, but okay, it is only a few megahertz lower than 2 GHz, so it is okay. Memory usage at 3.5 gigabytes, quite demanding for a racing game. Okay, it is not Forza Horizon. And now let's see the how the fuck is 2 S's, 2 T's maxed. I think I am now at my other system. The network drive should pop up right now. Okay, I need the ACS file, and my latest one is the 1070 run, which I did. I hope I'm not mistaking anything. Let's see, I need one. No. No. Okay, guys, give me a second. I will add my proper CSVs and we'll come right back. Okay, so I have loaded my proper benchmarking files of the two runs of the GTX 1070 on the 2500K and the one I just did on the H60 109.8. Okay, so very similar performance. The 2500K did have a little less stuttering, but the performances were very close together, almost indistinguishable. Let's see the visualization of the 860 first. We do have frame spikes for about 2 milliseconds in length, but these are frame to frame spikes, because otherwise I think that Fraps would have caught that. Overall the frame times are very low, however, as you can see. The green line shows the comparable frame rate and the yellow line shows the average, which is at 9 milliseconds. Crazy fast performance. Time spent beyond 16.7 milliseconds is almost zero. It is essentially zero, only 3 frames were registered to be above that. The histogram of the frame times shows also an excellent performance, with the vast majority of the frame times at 9 and 10 milliseconds. Crazy performance. Let me see if the 2500K also had these spikes in the frame times. Okay, indeed the stuttering seems to be a little less on the 2500K. Let me go back again to the 860 with the same zoom out level. Yes, the 2500K does seem to be a little smoother in delivering frame times, but overall both systems performed very nicely. Let me change that to the blue. Which is the blue? No, I'm confused. I think this is the blue. Anyway, fuck that. We are not going to get stuck on the coloring. Yes, as you can see, the 2500K in the blue indeed has lower stuttering, very visibly lower, but nothing too crazy. We are talking about just a few milliseconds, less than a few milliseconds actually, 0 point something milliseconds, nothing too serious. And of course the length of the run is also very similar. I'm very happy about that. The frame rate very close together, tiny differences for the two runs, very similar, very good performance from the 860. Min, max and averages are also almost identical. Excellent performance. Variability a little better for the 860. The stuttering is a little better for the 2500K. Normal stuff. We can see how crazily close the two runs are with the percentiles chart very close together. Tiny distances of only 300 nanoseconds. These are milliseconds, these are nanoseconds, I think. 0.3 milliseconds anyway. Very close together. This graph does not help. And lastly, the comparable frame rate overlaid with the stuttering and the variability, again very close together. Due to the just a tiny bit higher stuttering, of course the comparable of the 860 is a little lower, but nothing too serious. Both systems performed excellently in an excellent way in this run. I'm very happy with the 860 performance. I hope you are happy with this video too. I will see you in my next one. Until then, take care.